Call the meeting to order. If you would, please rise. I'm going to call on Commissioner Griner for the invocation and our pledge.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for all that you do for us each and every day, Lord. Lord, just guide us all and lead us in the direction you want us to go as individuals and as groups, Lord. And just thank you for this town and this county that we have, Lord, that we just want to make better and we just want to please you and do your will, Lord, and just guide us and lead us. Thank you for the first responders and the military that keep us safe. And just thank you for everything. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Griner. Commissioners, inside your package, you have your minutes of the work session from the June 10th, as well as your regular session minutes of June the 11th, as well as the meeting or your minutes from the FY25 budget public hearing that was held on June the 13th. If there are no additions, deletions, or corrections, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Can we have a motion to approve? Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Agenda item 5A for your consideration is the budget plan for the hotel motel proceeds for fiscal year 2025. Ms. Black?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Georgia statute requires that the Board of Commissioners adopt, as part of their county budget, a budget plan for the use of hotel motel tax proceeds for the upcoming year. The same statute also requires that you obtain from the Conference Center and Tourism Authority a budget plan for their use of those proceeds. You have a proposed budget plan for the county as well as a signed approved budget plan from the Tourism Authority.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Black? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the proposed budget plans and authorize you to sign the plans.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the hotel motel budget plan for the fiscal year 2025. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 5B is the adoption of the fiscal year 2025 operating budget. Ms. Black?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Following the public hearing that was held on June 13th, the fiscal year 2025 budget is hereby submitted for adoption.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Black? All right. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move we adopt the fiscal year 2025 operating budget.
Okay, we have a motion to adopt the fiscal year 2025 operating budget. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 5C is the Lowndes County Accountability Court grant approval and cash match. Commissioners, at the work session, you heard from Ms. Fabry on that presentation. If you have any questions, I'll direct those to Ms. Dukes. If not, then I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the continued funding and cash match for the request.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the Accountability Court grant approval and the cash match. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 5D is the purchase of stream credits for the Coleman Road Northwest paving and drainage improvements. Mr. McLeod.
Yes, sir. Thank you. As part of the Coleman Road project, Lowndes County and the construction will impact 38 linear feet of intermittent stream. As a result, Lowndes County will be required to purchase 28.5 stream credits from an Army Corps of Engineers approved stream bank. Stream credits are available through Georgia Alabama Land Trust at $1,800 per credit, which is a total of $51,300.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. McLeod? Okay. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 5E is the pre-event debris removal contract. Mr. Ty.
Yes, sir. As we discussed yesterday morning, this is an update to the disaster-related debris removal contracts we've had in place since 2008. This is the contract that we implemented after Hurricane Idalia to allow us to quickly implement our debris removal process. We issued RFPs. They were evaluated by a committee, and after all the evaluation processes, we recommend entering into pre-event contracts with the top 3 proposers. So we're requesting a motion for the chairman to sign contracts with Ashbrit, DRC, and SDR. Be glad to answer any questions you have about the contracts or the RFP process.
Any questions for Mr. Ty?
This one, in the past, I know we had, I guess, a list of some of the rates or different services that they provide. I noticed we don't have it in here this time, but what are some of the criteria that, I guess, this committee made their decision on?
And I apologize, Belinda does have all the contract documents and the rates and all that with her. So some of the criteria, price obviously is one criteria, but it's not the only. We evaluate them on their past experience with similar sized jobs, the qualifications of the firms that are doing the proposals, as well as what resources they have. So obviously, something like Hurricane Idalia, not just anybody can do something of that magnitude. So we wanted to make sure that if we had another situation like that, that the firms were capable of handling such a job. And one of the things we did, one of the reasons we went ahead now and renewed updated those contracts is, obviously we're requesting you to authorize it for the county, but we wrote the RFP in such a way that each of the cities can also choose to enter into a pre-event contract if they so choose. So obviously we wanted somebody that could work not only for Lowndes County, but could help, do the work for all of the cities as well if they chose to utilize the same contractor. So we wanted to make sure that we had, all the appropriate equipment and experience and that kind of stuff.
I appreciate it.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we authorize you to sign the contracts with the top 3 proposers in the following order: preference Albert, DRC, and Southern Disaster Recovery.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 5F is the pre-event disaster debris monitoring contract. Mr. Ty?
Yes, sir. And as we discussed, this is also a pre-event, no-cost contract that we have in place. If we activate the debris removal contract, then we would also authorize the monitors, and they come in and act on our behalf to make sure that the debris removal contractors are following the FEMA guidelines, they're following the scope of work, and that we don't pay for anything that they weren't authorized to do. It helps maximize our reimbursement. It makes the reimbursement process with FEMA a lot easier, and so they kind of worked hand in hand. So it's kind of a checks and balances. But be glad to answer any questions you have about the monitoring contract.
Any questions for Mr. Ty? Okay. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we authorize you to sign the pre-event contract for disaster debris monitoring services with Thompson Consulting.
Okay, we have a motion to authorize the chairman to sign the pre-event disaster debris monitoring contract. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 5G is the Lowndes County Juvenile Accountability Court. You heard yesterday at work session from Mr. Jeffrey Martin. If there's no questions, then I will entertain a motion on that as well.
Approval to continue to fund in the cash match that is required.
Okay, we have a motion from Ms. Evans. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 5H is the Lowndes County DUI Court Grant Award and the match approval for that. Again, at work session, you heard from Ms. Heather Harris, made the presentation in regards to the DUI court grant. If there's no questions, then we'll entertain a motion for that request.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Ms. Evans. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 5I is the request for proposals for property and liability insurance. Mr. Beals.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Commissioners. Like we talked about yesterday, the Human Resources Department recently advertised a RFP for property and liability insurance. The RFP was asking interested vendors to provide an annual premium cost for full-service property and liability insurance coverages on multiple lines. We only received 2 proposals in. T. Hudson Risk Advisors submitted a proposal, but their proposal was only for loss control services only. The other proposal received was from the ACCG IRMA program. They did submit a proposal that met all coverage specifications in the RFP. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Mr. Beals? Thank you, Mr. Beals.
Thank you.
Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve ACCG as our property and liability insurance coverage.
Okay, we have a motion to approve ACCG IRMA for the property and liability insurance. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 6A is our one bid item, and this is for a vac trailer for the Utilities Department. Ms. Black.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. We solicited bids for a new vac trailer for the Utilities Department. This was a budgeted item. We received 3 bids meeting specifications, with the low bid being Carter's Equipment in Havana, Florida, $96,110.
Any questions for Ms. Black?
Yes, Stephanie, what type of timeline are they on back order?
I don't have that information, but I can get it for you.
Mr. Stoughton, would you have that information?
They would want to potentially be able to do that.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to award the bid to Carter's Equipment.
Okay, we have a motion to award the bid to Carter Equipment. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 7, County Manager's Report. Ms. Dukes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Commissioners. The Board of Assessors Office, as of this afternoon, has received 130 appeals on residential and agriculture. The commercial assessment notices will go out tomorrow. When I spoke with Lisa Bryant, normally they have several hundred appeals by now, so the appeals seem to be coming in slower this year than they did last year. Also, we'll be providing lunch on Monday for our employees as a mid-year appreciation for all of their hard work. This is Chick-fil-A that will be dropped off at all of their offices, and our department heads are participating in delivering those to all of the other elected officials' offices in the courts. We also remain under a heat advisory. Ms. Barwick continues to release information regarding heat safety. We also are making sure that our teams in the field are staying hydrated and taking breaks when necessary. I know that's been a topic of conversation. The chairman and I talked about it on the radio this morning. I'm afraid that this heat's going to hang in for the next few months. I think that maybe towards the end of the week we're going to get a break with maybe a little rain, but right now it's just hot. Also, Ms. Barwick and Jess Gaines are working to have the historic courthouse added as a stop on the Georgia Grown Trails Tour. Beth Meeks is a fantastic friend of the county. This is a meeting that she invited Megan and Jess to. We will provide you all with more information as we move through the process. But you've been around the state and seen the Georgia Grown Trails signs that kind of mark the mile marker or that you put in front of the facilities. So we're excited to be included in their marketing materials and to be an official stop on that trail. From October of last year to May of this year, we've already had over 3,000 visitors to the historic courthouse. So it's exciting to have it incorporated into a formal initiative across the state. Also, the sheriff's office has become active in downtown in an attempt to slow traffic. As you ride through downtown on the Ashley Street side of the historic courthouse, you may see the message board there encouraging people to slow down. That is a new message board that was acquired through the sheriff's office, and they're trying to do their part to help slow that traffic a little bit. Yesterday, we were doing some research, and I found something that I wanted to share with you all. This is a memo that was dated June the 29th of 1990. And it says that on July the 3rd, 1990, Central Avenue will be closed at 1 p.m. by the City Engineering Department between Ashley Street and Patterson Street. The only lanes to be closed will be the northernmost lane and the parking lane. Lowndes County has contracted with Roundtree Construction Company to deliver 107 tons of beach sand at $6 per ton. Next, Public Works will spread the sand in a 22 by 100 foot thick, or 100 foot rectangle, 1 inch thick. And then on July the 5th of 1990, Public Works will clean up the sand and use it for emergency in-service stock. Central Avenue will be open for full traffic on July the 5th.
So this is gonna be Central Beach or what?
Apparently, but two things from this. I know that sometimes you guys are very patient with our community programs and the things that we like to do. I promise to you that we will never ask to dump 100 tons of sand in the middle of a road. Also, Commissioner Weisenbaker, for your benefit, I made sure that I looked at what time and inflation has done to a ton of sand. So in 1990, we paid $6 per ton for sand. Today, we are paying $112 per ton for sand. Yeah. Yep. So anyway, I just saw that and I thought I don't remember anything being advertised downtown as far as a whole load of sand for the 4th of July. But apparently there was. And with that, I hope that you all have a fantastic 4th.
Thank you. All right, we have one citizen's wishing to be heard, Ms. Rossberry. Yes. Is that correct? Please come forward, if you would, and state your name and address for the record, please. Come forward to the mic. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marcel Roseberry. I live in the Enoch Lake little community of Lake Park, and we are in dear desire of help. We pay the county our mileage, who for the last 2 years came down from 8.5 to 6.5 this year. So you collect the money, but we saw you and your goodwill after Idalia hurricane, when you provide us trucks and trucks to remove the debris. It was your commitment. And I am pretty sure that the driver of the truck realized how bad was our road. It is supposedly a private community. It is not that private because we depend on you, the county. We pay, and you're just supposed to be there. We don't see so much of you except the property tax. And you have changed the rule. We try very hard to have a unity, to have 100% of the people agree to turn that dirt road into a county road. maintained by the county, because it is supposed to be maintained by the volunteer, the residents, the member of the Enoch Lake Association. But times are hard. People works. They are committed to their church and to their family. And when they return from work, they want to eat, watch TV, and go to bed. And we don't have the equipment, and we cannot afford, on top of that, the equipment to maintain the road, like Ziegler Road. Ziegler Road, who have about 3 houses and farms, is so pretty, with ditches were cut neat, with water running in the ditches. We cannot afford to have the equipment. We pay 200 a year, or we are going to pay 600 a year in fees, but up to now. So the county, I return to the point where I say you change the rule. Before, you were accepting 80% of the residents to agree. But now, it's really a joke to ask 100%. Even in one family, people don't agree. So how do you want to have 66 residents to agree? And it's a good thing that we agree that we have a God. Because after that, you know, we don't agree on anything. There are already people who don't agree to pay $200, even for the light, the insurance. So how can you expect, really, to have 100%? Because we can really bring 80% of the residents to turn our dirt road, and it is a dirt road. Even the ABS on my car has to work on that road. We cannot provide 100%. So can you make an exception so we can bring 80% of the residents and turn that dirt road into a road?
Well, we don't make that decision at this point, Ms. Rossberry.
I know.
But we'll
But
be glad to
I
look
will
at
be
it.
there in 2 weeks, and I will be there in 2 weeks until you are so tired to see me. You see, I am 84, I don't work.
Sure.
But God provided me with a voice, and this is our, the voice of the community. It's, they don't want, when I ask why you don't want it, our tax will increase. No, the mileage has come down, the price of the house has come up, we cannot sell them because of the economical situation, mortgage and lack of money. But it's, I say yes, but your house will gain value if you try to sell your home and the potential buyer come one day after the rain. They don't want to buy there. They don't want. Because my neighbors pay $900 on the alignment of your car. You have to be drunk to drive because you go from pothole to pothole. We have a piece of an equipment I think can go to a museum because we have a grader who does not grade. He moves things, but he does not grade.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your time, and we'll.
You're very welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Please
Thank you.
think of that.
All right. Commissioners, any questions, comments? Motion to adjourn?
So move.